We're here at Photo Plus in the Expo Hall, and today we're at the Wacom booth, and this is Wes Maggio. Thanks for joining us, Wes.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, would you tell us and some of our PAC members a little bit about your product line and what's special about it?
Absolutely. Well, if you're not familiar with Wacom technology, we make pen tablets. We also make what we call interactive pen displays. In short, it's an input device. What's an input device? It's a means of moving your cursor around the screen. Like a mouse, a trackball, a trackpad, what have you. The reason why you'd want to use a tablet, especially if you're a photographer, and I think you are, is because our pens are pressure sensitive. What I mean by that is you can vary the opacity of a brush or maybe the width of a brush based on how hard you physically press your pen to the tablet. So if you're working with layer masks or adjustment layers or simply adjusting tonal value or compositing multiple exposures or multiple images all together, a pressure sensitive pen is going to give you so much more control over the tools that you're using right now.
And pinpoint accuracy that you can't get with a mouse. Mouses, you move it just a little bit and it's looking at, a lot of times with the laser mice, are just looking at a reflection of light and measuring distance, that kind of thing, and it'll jump around and you won't get the precision that you can get with a pen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, it's a funny thing. It's kind of I talk to people a lot about obviously using pens versus mice, and one of the things that we talk about is obviously precision, but it's not so much a learning process as it is an unlearning process. You know, if you've ever had to pick up that mouse and kind of reposition it on your mouse pad to get your cursor, to find your cursor, and then get it to go where you want it to go, you don't have to do that when you're using a pen. Where you put your pen on the tablet, whether it be something like this, our Intuos line, our traditional tablets, where you put your pen on the tablet is exactly where your cursor is going to go. So it's more of this unlearning process, getting over that habit of picking up and scooting. Yeah,
you don't have to find it every time, it's just there.
Exactly.
Perfect. So tell us about, now this is a standard, it's probably the tablet that most of us are familiar with, that is off to the side in our traditional mouse replacement, right? But you have a variety of other products that do a much more
Yeah, we've been doing this quite a while, and as you said, I mean, this is what we call our Intuos tablet line. I call it our traditional tablet.
Yeah.
Why do I call it traditional? Well, because this is what we started doing 30 years ago. Yeah, that's right. We have been doing this for 30 years. But this is the tablet that everybody should have. You know, and if you've got other needs, I can show you something else, and I'm going to. But if you are a photographer, obviously that is serious about your work, and I'm pretty sure you are if you're a member of PAC. This Intuos Pro line is the kind of tablet that's kind of the de facto recommendation. It's available in a couple different sizes. This is the medium-sized tablet, by far our most popular tablet, but there's a small and a large available as well. Typically we see illustrators, artists that draw from the shoulder using a large-sized tablet, and then photographers will gravitate more towards a small or medium-sized tablet. Again, depending on a couple different factors. But anyways, what we did over the years is we took this technology and we built it right inside a custom-designed flat panel display. This is the Cintiq 27 QHD. It's our flagship product. It's available in a couple of different sizes. This 27-inch model, again, our flagship, and then we have a 22 that rotates a little bit more on a stand like this, and that's, again, designed more for an illustrator or an artist that's used to making these broader sweeping strokes. And then we've got more of a portable version, or a light version, if you will, a 13-inch model.
Okay.
Now, we can get even beyond that. We have what's called the Cintiq Companion, and despite its name, it's not a companion product. Rather, it's an entirely independent product. It's a standalone computer with the Cintiq. So anybody who wants to take that kind of portability and the ability to draw on the road can do so with that model.
Perfect. Show us just a little bit of the key features here of this product.
Yeah, absolutely. So this display, beautiful 27-inch display. It spans 97% of Adobe RGB. It's an IPS panel, one of the highest quality panels on the market today. It's pressure sensitive, just like all of our products. Again, being able to draw directly on screen. I've got bridge up here, so not really going to do anything right there just yet. But we've got obviously the display itself, and then we've got something right here. This is actually kind of unique, and you may not have seen this before. This is a product that was designed with the 27 in mind, but you can get this as an accessory for all our tablets. This is called an Express Key remote. Now, if you've got a tablet or you've seen a tablet before with buttons on the sides, things like that, that's essentially what the concept is here with the Express Key remote. Being a standalone remote, you can place it on the Cintiq. Right on side, it'll hold on a magnet on either side of the display. So if you're left-handed or right-handed, position it most conveniently. Or you can actually place it on the desk, again, wherever you want on the desk. But it's not limited to the 27. You can get it as an accessory for your Intuos model as well. So.
Excellent.
just kind of place that right up there. Great. So I've got Bridge open here if we wanted to open up an image. Let's just take a look at this one right here. I'm just going to double tap on that.
Okay.
Give that a second to open up in Photoshop. All right, so we've got this image. This was a hip shot at the bar the other night, okay? So this was this cool cocktail I got. Couldn't even tell you what it's called, but that's okay. It's not important. What I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna duplicate this layer. This is a really common thing, and I'm gonna create a second exposure. I'm gonna change the blend mode from normal to screen. That's gonna lighten it up. And I'm gonna go ahead and add my layer mask, and I'm gonna fill that with black. I'm gonna go under Edit, down to Fill with black, and that's going to mask out what I just created here, that lighter version, if you will. Now I'm going to select my paintbrush tool, and again, I'm going to use pressure sensitivity to selectively apply or reveal that lighter version in contrast to the kind of flat version that we have right here. So I've got my paintbrush selected, and I'm just going to double check to see what kind of brush I had here. I'm going to make sure that I've got shape dynamics turned off. All I want to do is I want to adjust the opacity of the brush. So I'm going to change the hardness down here to a nice soft edge brush. There we go. We'll minimize that. I'm going to get a larger size brush right here. I'm going to use my bracket keys. And again, I don't expect you guys to see this at home too much, but you should be able to see this right here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, very gently reveal that lighter version there.
Sure.
Now, I'm pressing very lightly on the sides, pressing a little bit harder right here in the center. Let's bring out some of those highlights right over there, and maybe a little bit right here. Almost like we're adding a little bit of a spotlight behind it. I'm going to get a much smaller brush, and I'm just going to bring in just a little bit right here in the leaves, add a little more contrast there. That's kind of crude, but you know, I think you're kind of getting the picture there. Add just a little bit of highlight right there. I'm going to turn this visibility on and off. There's our before, and there's our after. And one last thing, I'm going to hold down my Alt key, and I'm going to click on the layer mask. You can see where I painted. So pressure sensitivity in this case enabled me to vary the opacity of the brush based on how hard I physically press my pen to the tablet. So press pretty hard right here.
Sure.
Gradually lighten up my touch right there. So it's lower opacity or less opacity. And that gave me a really nice pop to my image.
Quick and easy. It's right where you would naturally want to point to the image where you're like, I want to enhance over here, and you're just doing it at the same time. So
exactly.
Yeah, the benefits of a tablet. So thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Check out Wacom.